It's Christmas Eve, and the Science Fiction Channel has a Star Trek movie marathon on. Yeah, I watched some of Star Trek Nemesis, and I heard once again there talks about dilithium, an extremely hard crystalline mineral. You see, they use dilithium crystals to stop reactions with antimatters. So they use dilithium crystals and dilithium shields. And yeah, maybe it was Star Trek, but think about it. In Star Trek, streams of matter and antimatter are directed into dilithium to heat up the excess deuterium gas, giving them a plasma that actually powers their warp drives. Kind of cool if that worked in the real world. But think about what is cool about Star Trek. They use names of places on planets in the solar system like Utopia Planitia near Mars's North Pole. When describing the creation of the Enterprise D, they'll take a common molecule formed in the creation of the universe and use it in their reactions that seem impossible to us scientists in the real world to pull off seemingly impossible feats in the science fiction. So I had to check it out. I knew a thing or two about lithium, but is dilithium actually real? Well, yeah, everyone, it is. And dilithium is Li2, meaning that two dilithium atoms bonded together. And that lowercase I in there means that it's in gas form. But the cool thing, scientifically, is that since dilithium is number 3 in the periodic table, that means dilithium is the highest stable neutral homonuclear diatomic molecule after the H2 atom deuterium, which is made along with hydrogen in the initial minutes after the Big Bang. Because in the scientific world, they find a ton of value in the study of this molecule, probably much in the same way that they need it so desperately in Star Trek to pull off warp drive. And you may think I'm kidding, but researchers are working on a fusion impulse engine that runs on real dilithium crystals to cut the travel time to Mars from 6 months to just 6 weeks. The fusion fuel they're focusing on combines dilithium and deuterium. Is this sounding familiar? Because the one thing that I've noticed is that scientists often reflect on their science fiction loves. They try to emulate those stories and recreate what their iconic writers and directors first envisioned. So when you look at all the technology from the science gadgets we have around us today, you can thank the scientists and the engineers. But sometimes you can also thank the writers who planted the seeds of what we have today in the heads of the scientific world. Because maybe we can't beam anyone up and molecularly disassemble ourselves and reassemble ourselves somewhere else, but maybe the original Star Trek communicator was a prelude to the cell phone. And maybe science fiction's thoughts on dilithium crystals forming warp drives can lead us into deep space ourselves. Because really, we'd all love dilithium if it will help us embrace our race into space, the final frontier. Thank you. It's creepy. Look at what I have.